Hi guys, it's your girl Xee and Cyn, and we're back with another video. Ooh, someone's showing y'all some love. We are reacting to why I feel more free in Britain than America, and we got this from Girl Gun London. The link will be in the description for you to check out her original video.
Why I feel more free in Britain than in America? Because I have other kids.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay, guys. Because I'm like, let's get into this video. Here we go, right about now.
In the UK, I can cross the road wherever I want to cross the road. I can look to see if there's traffic with my own eyes, and I can just decide to walk across that road with no fear of a fine or a ticket or getting in trouble. Which sounds more free to you? Hi, and welcome back to the Girl Gun London channel. Today, I am discussing all the ways in which I feel more free in the UK than in the USA. And this is a funny topic, I suppose, because America associates itself with freedom and the fact that Americans are free. But I was thinking about whether I would want to move back to America, and it has changed at various points in my life here in the UK. If you don't know, I am a dual UK and US citizen, so technically I could live in either country, and I have chosen for multiple reasons, but some of these in this video to be in the UK. When I think about moving to America, there are some things that come up that I'm not entirely sure I could deal with, and that made me realize that actually my life here in the UK seems more free than it would be in the USA. So let's get started. Number one, and this is probably the biggest way in which I feel I have more freedom here in the UK, has to do with healthcare. Now, the reason I was thinking about this is not just the fact that I can go to the doctor here and not pay anything, or have a surgery and not pay anything. It's also to do with the fact that I am self-employed. And so if you're self-employed in a place like the UK that has a nationalized healthcare system, it means that you don't have to factor this in to your job or what it means if you lose a job or gain a job or anything like that. And if you're British, you're probably a little bit confused if you're not familiar with how it works in the US. So in the US, having health insurance is essentially mandatory to be able to go to the doctor, to get surgeries, like to get help. If you don't have anything at all, technically you can still get emergency help, but it's a whole big thing. So in general, you need health insurance. Typically, health insurance is going to be attached to a job, but it's going to be attached to a salaried job, and it's considered part of the perks of the job. So people in the US who are self-employed or freelancers or not in a traditional 9-to-5 salaried position still need health insurance, but it doesn't come with your job as a perk. So you then have to source that health insurance for yourself, pay the monthly fees, which can be extortionate. So we're not talking like $50 a month here. We're talking at least in the multiple hundreds per month in order to have health insurance in case you have any sort of medical need. So if I were to move to the US right now, I would feel a lot less free financially because I would have to be paying, again, extortionate amounts for health insurance every month. And I might not even have the freedom to be self-employed in the US because of how much extra that adds on per month and per year to your costs. And again, after you have the health insurance in America, you still often have what we call a copay, which is the money you still need to pay towards the doctor's appointment or towards the surgery or towards the hospital visit or whatever it is. So let's say that your insurance does cover your doctor, you might still have a $50 copay, which means that you still need to pay out of pocket $50 every time you have a doctor's appointment. And yes, the insurance will cover the rest, but you're still paying out of pocket. Here in the UK, if I have any sort of issue that I need to see a doctor for, I don't worry about budgeting for it. I'm just able to go. And in that way, I think that I get much better healthcare here in the UK because I'm not worried about the financial aspect of it. I don't second guess whether I really need to be seen or can just like fix myself on WebMD, because it doesn't cost me money at the point of interaction here in the UK. Yes, you pay through it through your taxes, you pay through it in other ways. Everybody always says the NHS isn't free. It's not free overall, but it is free to each individual at the point of interaction. So it's much different to the American system, which is not free at any point. And even if you have health insurance, you are often still paying out of pocket. The next thing on my list.
That number one came in strong. This is a very personal, touchy subject because we both experienced it. Like, giving birth in America is expensive. Surgery just for one day, not even one night, you're looking at $40K. Like, it's a lot of money. And copay just makes no sense. It's stupid. I'm sorry, stupid.
I was just talking to her about, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm paying a copay and here I am getting a bill for what? But yet still I have insurance. I'm like, this is madness. And I haven't been to the doctor in a minute, but yet still I'm getting a bill for what? For when? I don't know. I was like, and when you call them, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't bill your insurance. Really now? We will reimburse you. Really now? You didn't know that before you send me the bill my way? The prices are ridiculous. Yes. Remember, they're not even checking my heart rate, not even my blood pressure, nothing. How you feeling? They look at you and they say, oh, maybe you have this. Let's give you some pills. And you're paying $10,000 for that visit. It's a shame. It's ridiculous.
It's a scam.
It's a money-making machine. Period. Point blank. And we understand that the NHS has its problem and that and that, like any other, healthcare system. But at least you don't have to worry to go to the doctor. At least you don't have to be waiting until you're almost about to die. To head to the doctor. You don't have to second guess that.
Don't.
And then you don't have to worry that you're going to leave the burden of bills on your kids if anything do happen to you and you say that goes over to your family. You don't leave that burden. In the UK, you don't have that.
No.
And that indeed is a privilege. And that to me is freedom. That's my 2 cents right there, because this one bites. They need to take a page out of your book with that. No cap. Period.
This is much more trivial, but it does have to do with the public access to land here in the UK. Watch my countryside video that I posted recently if you haven't seen that, where I talk about the public access to footpaths here in the UK, meaning that you can essentially roam or walk through privately owned land a lot of times because you have right of way as the public on a footpath. In America, it is not like this at all. Private land is basically private land, and you can go to, of course, a park or a national park or something like that, but you can't usually just leave your house or pick a particular spot and keep wandering for a long time. It's a much more private system that has no public access or right of way in that sense. So I feel like I can move a little bit more freely in the UK when it comes to walking. And also, my third reason that I feel more free in the UK than in the USA is public transportation. So America
I agree with her. The footpaths, oh my goodness, beautiful. Remember, I've been rewatched. Absolutely loved it. Learned a lot. And I agree. You cannot be wandering here in America. Like, you're about to get pow for trespassing. Like, you're on someone's private property. That's not okay.
You'll be on the line.
Yeah, they don't play about that over here. They do not play.
Even free roaming where? In America?
Even the thought of just like pulling in someone's driveway. If you don't know that person, don't dare to pull up in their driveway. Like, who are you to pull my driveway?
And yet this is the land of the free.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that video by International Carl about roaming free footpath, our eyes were open on that one. We'll link it right here or somewhere over there. Not sure which side. All right, yeah.
It'll be linked.
Yeah, it will be linked. So you guys can check it out. Because we were like, this is crazy. I did not know that there was such a thing. We were like, this is unbelievable. Not in a million years in the US that will ever happen. So I see where she's coming. Now transportation is one that we've heard about. And kudos to you because you guys got this down.
Most part is run on cars. Now, a lot of the UK is also run on cars. If you go to Cornwall, you're probably going to want a car. There are buses, but a car is going to get you places much faster. However, The vast majority of the UK is really well connected by trains, by buses, and by other forms of transportation than a car. So it means here I have more options. Maybe I still do want to take a car into the countryside, but if I didn't have one, I could check out the local buses. I could check out the trains. The train system in the UK can get you very, very far and to tons of different places. As you saw in my Great Missenden video the other day, I can go to this countryside feeling village 40 minutes on the train from London, no car necessary. The next thing on my list, and this doesn't really...
We don't have it in the US. That's nice though. I like the idea of traveling, you know, like 40 minutes from like somewhere else, and it's like, yeah, that's nice.
You don't have to stress yourself.
You don't.
Oh, I don't have a car. Because there's some routes here, even though there's buses, there's no bus that run on that route. You definitely have to have a car to get from point A to point B.
A car.
Or you're going to carpool with somebody. Or if you can't carpool, you start hitchhiking. Put that thumb up and see if somebody will pick you up. Because because it's true.
I see it. I'm like, in this day and age,
I'm sorry. I saw a lady day before yesterday coming down C Street. And I'm like, what is she doing? Her thumb. Sean was like, Mama, what is she doing? I said, trying to hitch a ride. Sean said, what? I said, trying to hitch a ride. And the cars were just rolling down, and I'm looking at her, and a nice young lady too. And I'm like, if only you could trust people.
Yeah.
Because my truck has space, but with all my 5 kids in my vehicle, not in a millionaire. And I was warned, don't even try it.
No,
it doesn't matter how people look to you. Don't even try it. So the bus system, the train system, even in New York, is the same thing. The train is never on time. It's not reliable.
And it takes so long. That's another thing. And it's expensive.
We can go on and on with this, but yeah, that's another one.
They apply to me because I don't really drink, but if we're putting this list together for your average American versus British life, in the UK, the drinking age is 18, whereas in America, it is 21. So in that way, the UK seems more free and at an earlier age. The next thing on my list...
A quick point on that. I can't stand this one. They can go into the shop, they can buy a cigar, they can do this, they can do that, but they're not 21. So messed up that is. They can vote, they can this, they can that, but they're not 21. You see the point of what I'm making? There's so many things that they can get a driver's license from 15 going on 16, but you're not 21. So you tell me.
Again, has to do with my employment. And this really, as I've mentioned, is what has gotten me thinking about this subject. And this is to do with employment rights and paid leave. So when you talk about freedom, in the UK, if I were to work a traditional 9-to-5 salaried position, I would be guaranteed by the government 28 paid days of annual leave per year. In the US, if I were in the same exact position, a salaried 9-to-5 job, there are no federal government requirements for how many days I could have off. That again is seen as like a perk of the job. So you hope to pick a job that offers you enough leave or enough days off, or vacation days as we call it in America. But there is no federal mandate for how many days this has to be. It could be 0. And even when you do tend to get vacation days included in your job in America, it usually is much less than in the UK, which is why in the UK and in Europe, actually, people tend to think of like the summer holidays or the winter holidays or whatever it is, as people can take multiple week trips sometimes. But in my experience, Americans almost never have that 28 days off per year, or even more in some other European countries. They're going to have fewer days. And so their trips need to be a bit shorter, maybe 5 days, maybe 7 days at a max. Taking a like 2 or 3 week trip, as people can often do in the UK or in Europe, is definitely not something that happens that much. So I think to myself, if I were to move back to America tomorrow, maybe let's say I'm not self-employed anymore and I do work a traditional 9-to-5 job, I would feel in that way less free than I have felt in the jobs that I've worked here in the UK. And that would be a huge and hard adjustment to make. The next thing on my list is—
That's a big one.
That is a big one. And here in America, the companies like regulate how they're gonna like employee rights, like how many paid holidays they offer, if they even offer health insurance, if they have like all these like benefits, if they can choose and pick what they want to like offer. It's not really regulated like that over here.
It's messed up. When first time I heard it, I said, "You got how many
Yeah, that's
days?
a lot.
You be scurrying for days here, because if you get sick, you gotta plug it into your leave. Take it out of your leave time. So you end up rubbing out of your leave time. You don't have no leave by the time it comes around, and you're not paid. And seniority trumps you coming in to get time off. Land of the free, mate.
Is the lower higher education fees here in the UK, which I can personally attest to because I did do my full master's degree here in the UK. So I know how much it costs here, even as an international student, versus how much doing a master's degree would cost in the USA. I've mentioned this in my video about things that are cheaper in the UK than in the USA, but higher education is definitely one of those. So when you compare the costs here in the UK to the $50,000, $60,000 per year cost for some universities in the US, I mean, which one seems more doable to you? Which one seems like that country has more freedom? I don't know. There's a lot of good things about America, but the more I make this list, I'm like, there's a lot of ways in which there is so much more freedom here in the UK that maybe people don't realize. And of course, the most obvious one, I have left it to this point on the list, has to do with firearms. So yes, there is crime in the UK.
Before she gets into that, let's address this school thing. Kids enter into school, they're acquiring what? Debt. Coming out of school, they acquired a what?
Debt.
They acquired debt up to a house money. 30-year mortgage money.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then they can't get a job when they get out.
No,
they can't get a job that they get out. They're telling you to go to school to get this master's degree or bachelor's degree or associate degree. But then when you're looking for the job, they're telling you that you need the experience. Where are you supposed to get it from? Where are you supposed to get that experience from? Oh, we need experienced people coming in. How? When? Where? Why? So what's the point? Entrepreneurs, you can't go wrong with that. There's always somebody to buy or do something. That's how I see it. Or learn a trade.
That's another one.
Learn a trade.
School is good. Yes.
And that's something that I've been telling my kids. Learn a trade. You can't go wrong with a trade.
Never. And that's something that AI cannot really take over.
Never.
Yeah, they can't take over a trade.
UK, yes, there is an increase in different types of crimes in different cities. It's nothing compared to how you feel in America at all times, knowing that firearms are allowed to be held by your average citizen. And what I will say is that when you live in America for long periods of time or you grow up there, this is a fact of life you have to get used to. So do you necessarily go around fearing this all of the time? Not necessarily, because you do have to become kind of immune to that fear in order to live your life. But now that I've lived in the UK and I can go to the movie theater, I can go to the mall, I can go to a restaurant without fearing some sort of gun violence incident. When I go back to the US now, I am very aware. So if I go to like a crowded movie theater or a crowded mall, I do look around and I think of what could potentially happen. And this wasn't a way that I thought when I lived in America, as I said, so you do have to become immune to it a little bit. But now that I've experienced a place where that fear is not always present, it doesn't make sense to me to go back to that fear, and it doesn't make me feel more free to think of a life in America where I would have to be or feel like I would have to second guess the places I would go and how crowded they are and who might have access to them. And to counter that, another trivial one is jaywalking. So
That's true.
She is spot on with that one.
Yeah.
Because even today, if I walk into a movie theater with my kids, the way I choose my seating is ridiculous. Cynthia can tell you guys, when I go into a restaurant, the way I sit is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
She always look at me, she's like, Xavier, my back can never be to the door.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see who is coming in
Mm-hmm.
and who is exiting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always aware of my environment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that game. And she always look at me, she's like, you don't play. I'm like, nope. And it's sad that I walk into a movie theater and I have to scan and see the best way to sit and the best place where my exit is with my 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in there and I'm watching this movie and it's still crossing my mind in this dark theater. And I'm like, what if anything goes wrong? How do I get the younger ones and the bigger ones to move as fast as I want them to do? And I should be enjoying the movie. Yeah. I'm not there to enjoy the movie. I'm there to make sure my kids are safe if anything goes wrong. Supermarket, same thing. My kids have to be by my car. They're like, Mom, can I go this aisle? No, you're not. You stay in with me. I don't care how old you think you are. You do not leave me and go anywhere else because you don't know what will clock when you're inside there. And she's 100% right on that. How living in a place where you don't have to think about, I'm passionate about this one, where you don't have to think about something like that, that's what you call freedom. Mm-hmm. She's spot on. You know, the thought don't have to, now do I walk around and get paranoid because I see somebody walking around? Because here you can walk around with an open carry. Yeah. Conceal too. Either way. I don't panic. I don't worry about that if I see them walking. No, it doesn't. I'm not panicking, but I'm just saying it is sad that is the reality of America. And I can see why anybody moving outside of the U.S. will feel much safer wherever else they go than being here in the U.S. I know this one got me, but every time I think about the kids and myself, and yeah, it just get me all right up because I'm like, and there won't be any change where this is concerned because majority of money making machine. That's what it boils to at the end of the day.
Oh, in America, there are lots of laws.
I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you. I have nothing to say.
You said it all, Xavier. I agree.
Laws in different states that you cannot simply cross the road wherever you would like to cross the road. By law, you have to cross the road at a dedicated crossing. And if you don't, you could run the risk of getting yourself a ticket or some sort of fine. You're likely not going to be put in jail for jaywalking, but it's still something that is codified as not legal. So again, you're looking at some sort of punishment or at least a slap on the wrist from a police officer. In the UK, I can cross the road wherever I want to cross the road. I can look to see if there's traffic with my own eyes, and I can just decide to walk across that road with no fear of a fine or a ticket or getting in trouble. Which sounds more free to you? And finally, the last thing on my list, and this is an interesting one. We might do a religion in the UK versus the USA video at some point in time, but it's a little bit of a nuanced topic because we'll take England as an example. England has an official religion, the Church of England. America doesn't have an official religion. However, Americans tend to be more religious. So again, there's layers to this topic. However, when it comes to people in power, in the UK, I feel like there is much more of a freedom of becoming somebody in power, whether that's at a more local level or a national level, regardless of your religion. The current leader of the Labour Party who are in power is an atheist. Rishi Sunak is a Hindu. It doesn't necessarily play into people's minds what somebody's personal, private religious beliefs are when it comes to their ability to lead. You might have problems with people based on a number of other reasons, but typically religion, again, is seen as private. And in some ways, that gives more freedom for people of all different religions to achieve lots of different things and hold this position of power. In America, it can tend to be more difficult for someone to be in a position of power without being a part of the majority religion, which is Christianity. So it doesn't always come into play. I'm not saying that it's never happened. People do have different religious beliefs and have held office, but people do think about it more. They do question it more. And there has currently been no president that has declared themselves as an atheist or not having a religion. And to me, that would seem like something that would not be possible right now in America. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. There are lots of positive things.
Thank you. She brought some really good points and really got us thinking over here too. Jaywalking, let's go back to that. I've jaywalked. It's crossing the road. I've crossed the road in my life. Let's just call it what it is. I have crossed the street. Look here, look left, look right, look around, make sure
look up, look if something is falling, and
and then just look, and there you go. Look like a bad woman, just look. No. You look before you cross.
Common sense tell you to look.
I've even crossed in front of a police officer. They did nothing. They're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
when I was younger,
they've been busy doing something. Yeah, they didn't need to make up for tickets at the end of the month.
Yeah, so I was young too.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah.
But it's crazy that that's the case when it comes on to jaywalking. Because they were like, "What's jaywalking? We don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's called crossing the road over here." I'm like, "You're damn right. That makes sense to me." It's called crossing the road
at your own risk.
Yes,
it's that simple.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that she said about when it comes on to religion.
Yes.
You guys, that's a personal matter to you.
You
don't divulge that information. And I think it's not anybody's place to say what religion. It's not your place either.
Yeah, this is like it's brought up and you feel comfortable with that person, but I don't feel like you should like put that person on the spot.
Yeah.
Or have them like conform to your religion. And people be doing that over here quite. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm no offense. Like, I'm like, share what you've been learning, but don't force me to believe your beliefs because you believe. Like, don't force me.
Yeah.
Give
me the option to choose.
Yeah. I feel like there's no choice. Just choose.
Yeah. So she's made some valid points. And I will agree with every last bit of them that she had made.
Very valid points.
So in my eyes, if I were to compare based on what she said and based on what I've learned so far about the UK, I would lean more on the UK side. And it's just the truth. Do I feel safe where I'm at here in Alaska? Yes, I do.
Damn right, but in other Florida dates, oh yes,
but,
we do.
Yeah.
But we still have our own issues.
Yeah.
I feel like America's a great country. Please do not get us wrong. But there are some things that America needs to focus on that they're not focusing on.
And they will never fix it.
No, they're not. They're focused on the wrong
It's going.
things.
I don't even want to use
other
left
countries.
Because when you say left, because people think you're on another side. And if you say far right, you're on another side. You can't even use.
We're going in the middle.
Just like a random word, left or right. People think negatively. I'm like, seriously, it's just a word. America,
blue or red?
Can't even use
red.
That's the truth, guys.
We got some red. You see, it's a hot mess in America. People are so sensitive, extremely left or extremely right.
Politically correct.
Politics?
It's politics, religion, money. Run.
Mm-hmm.
Stay far from it because people are losing their minds when it comes on to stuff like that. Don't even puke up info. Don't even. I was supposed to say divulge. I said don't even puke up nothing. Just keep your mouth shut and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a family member, just keep. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It is sad, but and it ain't changing anytime soon. Because it's getting worse and worse by the minute.
More extreme, more like, oh my goodness, we're having like just far gone from the rest of society.
Yeah.
Like far
they're
gone.
in a world to themselves.
Yes.
And they're considered the land of the free. But that is our 2 cents.
Yes.
We're not bashing America because
No.
we're here.
We're here in America. We live here.
We're citizens here as well.
Yeah,
we have dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think I do. I don't remember. I don't have my passport from back home, so I can't claim that no more, Xavier. When I was younger, I could, but now I can't.
She's like, well, maybe you, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about me. I have to double check with my mom.
But the point I'm making, there's so many good things about here as well. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
You understand me? But I'm just saying there's so many things that need to be fixed, and there's so many things that can be changed, and there's so many things that they can look at
that should have been fixed a long time. It's like our Second Amendment. That's a huge one.
Listen,
since the 90s, it should have been fixed.
Listen, there's so many things that they can take from another country.
Yes,
saying that we're the superpower. I don't really like to say we. They're the superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the number one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the greatest place on earth. Then what is so hard to take a page out of a country?
Yes.
Take a page out of their book that's working for them.
Mm-hmm.
And implement it in your country for the betterment of your people.
Yes, I agree.
It's like this is like a third world. With that said, be good.
Be kind.
Please. Put a smile on your face.
And somebody else's face too.
Yeah, come on over and watch some videos over here on Cynthia and Xavier's channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And if you're not ready, watch some more videos and decide later. But before you go, hit the subscribe button. Not the subscribe button, hit the like button. And before you do that, there's a P.O. box in the description below. If you like to send anything our way. And if you like this video, there's also a thank you button on the channel. If you'd like to donate to us, if you'd like. We're not saying you have to, because we love having everybody around here.
Yeah.
Because we're chatting today. We will see you in another video. These colors are popping today.
Yes, cute colors.
Guys, the amount of snow outside. We didn't sweat about this morning.
Our weather too is very unpredictable. So we understand you guys.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're like you guys.
Yeah, very much.
We've learned so much and seen so much just watching these videos and living vicariously through these videos about the UK, that we appreciate you guys more than you guys, I think, understand how much we appreciate and love your culture and different,
all about
the history, everything, you know. So with that said, we're chatting.
Love you guys.